Hello, everyone. Welcome to Teaching Hour with Ambassador Wyatt. Go get your pen, pencil, paper, or pad, because this is Teaching Hour. Hello, and welcome back to Teaching Hour with Ambassador Wyatt. Today's lesson comes from Genesis chapter 15, verses 4 through 6, and it reads, "And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him," talking about Abram, saying, "This shall not be thy heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thy heir." And he brought him forth abroad and said, this is the Lord who brought Abram abroad and said, "Look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them." And he said unto him, "So shall thy seed be." And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. Now our focus is on verse 6 of Genesis chapter 15. It reads again, "And he, Abram, believed in the Lord, and he, the Lord, counted it to him for righteousness." Now the Hebrew word for believed here is amen. It means to support, confirm, be faithful. It expresses agreement, affirmation, stating what the Lord said is true and thinking what the Lord said to be true. When we say amen, we are affirming the truth of God's written and spoken name in his word. Now let's go to the beginning of Genesis chapter 15, and we're going to read verse 1. And it reads, "After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, for I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward." Now don't move so fast in reading this, because this verse reveals a lot. It says, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. You see, you must understand why this word vision is connected to Abram believing. This vision was for him to perceive with intelligence, to see by experience, and to provide the necessary information. Now, what was it that was shown to Abram? You see, the Lord confirmed the word to Abram with support that the Lord is faithful. The Lord confirmed his word to Abram in a vision by revealing it with an illustration of looking towards heaven's stars. So after the Lord confirms his word to Abram in a vision, Abram affirmed by saying amen. That's the word believing. So Abram affirmed by saying amen. Now the word affirm means to state or say something that is true, or state your support for an idea. So Abram stated, he agreed, he supported what was said, seeing that the Lord is faithful, and said out of his mouth that God's promise is true. You see, Abram saw things to come in the spirit in the Lord. Now remember, the Lord told him, "I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward." The Lord is the reward, because he is the object by which the promise will come out of. Now keep this in mind. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 11. I'm going to read verse 6, and it reads, "But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." Now our focus is on the word faith. Let me give you a clear understanding. When we go back to verse 1 in Hebrews chapter 11, we see the definition for faith. It reads, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Okay, so we see the definition, but what does all this mean? Let's start with the first word, which is now. Now means present time. This is a gift. A gift is given at a moment. Faith. This is God's divine persuasion given from him to embirth revelation. Substance. This is under the illegal or under the legal standing. Agreement is the Lord's guarantee to fulfill the faith he embirths. We are only entitled to what God grants faith for. The words hope for. It simply means expectation of what is sure or certain. It's certain because this hope is the Lord's promises. Lastly, evidence. This is the Lord confirming his embirthing of faith by internal persuasion from him, which is hard proof. If we don't have the substance or evidence revealed from the Lord, then it's not faith. You see, faith is the force which enables people to see the invisible order. We need faith to know what the Lord's will is. Now, I told you to keep it in mind that the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, "Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward." Well, the reason to keep this in mind is because the source, the foundation of faith, is the Lord. He gives us revelation of himself. That's why he said that anyone who comes to him must believe that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Also, Jesus said, have faith in God. Well, because God is the object by which faith is and comes from and through. He reveals his faithfulness, who he is. And this is what made Abram believe. Now, the reason for this lesson is the Spirit of the Lord wants to remind and tell us Abram believed because the Lord gave him the faith, the word of the Lord to believe. And in conclusion, people are doing things apart from Christ. They are trying to do things without the Lord's faith. If the Spirit of the Lord have not given you a word and revealed it for this or that, you cannot birth it because he had not given you the faith for it. Now remember that. This concludes teaching hour. And remember, Jesus is Lord.